Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Chef and Talk, where we talk food, healing, and the real life chaos in the kitchen in this episode. Yeah, I said real life chaos. I'm your host, Alyssa. I am a holistic chef, a holistic, almost said practitioner. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I might as well be because I know so much and taught myself so much because I pretty much had to save my own life because I really didn't have the advocacy that I really needed throughout my childhood and into my now adult life, where I'm lucky enough to have very good support because I built my team and it takes a team to heal. And I hope you guys remember that because healing is a very, very long journey. It doesn't mean you're ever going to reach the top. Sometimes you're going to literally go on roller coasters, but what you will know is that your body will get you through whatever it needs to once you start giving it what it needs. So, we're going to get into the real reason I'm talking to you guys about going through like Lyme disease and stuff like that. So, inflammation, let's talk about it because it's no surprise. During this time of year, it loves to act up. It is literally a drama queen, right? If you could say it as something, that's what I would call it because it's super dramatic. Like, think of when you think of one thing that causes inflammation during the wintertime, I wonder what you think. I would love to know in in the comments below. But for me, it's like it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving kind of kickstarts it all. Well, I mean, you could if you're someone who's a sweet tooth, you could also say Halloween and going to these farmer markets and the farms towards the fall in New York. And when they have those like apple cider donuts and stuff, like that's pretty much when all that sugar craving and stuff really kicks in. But for me, it's Thanksgiving because it's my favorite holiday and I always give myself a little bit of break and I'm like, you could definitely have some sugar, don't worry about it. It's just once a year. So I'll talk to you more about that. But I love the sweet potatoes. I love the turkey. I love the desserts. I love all of it. I really do. My stepsister-in-law makes, I mean, my stepsister, she makes rainbow cookies from scratch. She's so gifted. What a gift. I love them. They're delicious. And then my stepsister-in-law, she makes freaking sourdough, which is like, she's a sourdough queen at this point. She's so good at making it, even though she doesn't give herself credit. She's pretty good at it. And she made like a Nutella one, which was dope. So, you have all these delicious desserts. And my partner, she makes a mean chocolate bourbon pecan pie. There isn't, even if it's gluten free, there's there is nothing that's gonna save you from eating that damn pie. And she knows it, but it's so good and it's hard to resist. Sometimes you just want to live a little bit, which living a little bit can mean something to different people and different things, right? So some people like to eat food and some people like to live through activities and exploring the world and stuff like that, and that's all a mindset, which is a whole separate video, but we're going to get into why this season is a whole inflammation vibe. Okay, we have stress. So everyday life, like today, I went to go to the food went to go food shopping, went to go pick up some freaking sweet potatoes as I'm putting into the bag. Like, yeah, my life's gonna get better. It's gonna turn around today. Putting the potatoes in, and all of a sudden they have these sharp ends on the sweet potatoes, and the whole bag falls apart, and all my sweet potatoes go right onto the floor. And I'm with my mom, which is she's just laughing because we just been going through. It's been a tough day for us. I don't know about you. It's December. You're a small business. You'll understand. It's a little bit tough out there, and it's funny. So on top of that, I'm walking around. All my potatoes fall on the ground. They're organic, and at this point, they're conventional because they hit the damn floor. But we're gonna just wash them off and eat them anyway. So what are we going to do? So things like that happen, and stress is just, it's just like a trickle effect. When it rains, it pours for some reason. And if you're a business owner like me, or like my entire family, my mother, my brother, they all have their own businesses. And my stepbrother, my stepsister-in-law, they all have their own businesses. And it is a lot. When you're down, you're down. When you're up, you're up. That's the best way to describe I think, a small business in like very few words. But yeah, stress could be a total one, right? It causes a ton of inflammation. Then you have family dynamics, and we're talking holiday season, and we're talking about people who trigger you and people that, maybe your partner is working a lot and then you're working a lot too, but then like one thing falls on another and the other person, can't pick up the slack. So it's like, it's really hard because sometimes, in relationships or you know, any kind of relationship, it's give and take. And then when you're with somebody, it's usually like, okay, you gotta pick up the other person when they're down. And that's what That's what being in a relationship is all about, is when you can't be someone else, when you can't be there in the way they need you and you try anyway. I think that's really great. So you have family dynamics and you're also like maybe the sibling you didn't want to see, or or the crazy weird uncle. Like everyone gets that. The racist one in your family. Like no one wants to see that. Like, no, we've had enough this whole year. We've had enough with everything. Let's just put it on pause. So we have things like that going on, and then we have more sugar. We have sugar in everything, whether it's cake, cookies, sweet potato casserole type things. I don't know. I don't eat casserole, but sweet potatoes, like brown sugar in there. Then you have pancakes and bacon and all these things that like shouldn't have sugar, do have sugar in it. There's just a ton of freaking sugar around you. So that causes a lot of inflammation. And then you have, people that drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol because of the autoimmune diseases I have, or disease I had. I have Lyme disease, but I used to have other things that play, but they don't exist anymore. But alcohol used to make everything 10 times worse because it just breaks down to sugar. Your body can't handle it. Your liver's going through enough as it is. So why make it more stress? Then people are getting less stress, less sleep. I'm sorry, they're getting less sleep. And the thing is, I'm guilty of it too. And I try to live really, really clean eating, everything. But when Stranger Thing hit, I was on that. I binged that whole thing in one night and I just stayed up. I could not look away. And let me tell you, that boy that played Will, props to you, my man. You definitely killed it in that last scene. So, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. Then you also have people that are traveling or people that have to split. Like I have, siblings and things that have to split up the holidays. They have to drive here, drive there, go down. And it's like you have to appease other people. So now you're feeling that mental stress and the traveling stress. You got to go to one place to another. You're not settled. And then the sun, right? Good old sun that we love and, and enjoy. She clocks out, man, just like we do. She clocks out at 4:15. She wakes up. She don't even wake up on time anymore. She is dark. By the time you go into work, she's still sleeping. And then she wakes up. She's like, nah, I ain't having this. And she goes right back to bed at 4:15. So she got it right. So maybe we should be on the sun schedule. If they don't want to change the time, we should definitely be on the sun schedule. But it's pretty interesting, right? So our bodies just don't stand a chance during this time of year, and it's tough. And during the holiday season, our inflammation is like, oh yeah, we're just gonna keep eating pie and we're gonna just not see the sun, and oh, you're gonna keep doing that, and then that's when your body's like, this is the perfect environment for you to just pretty much shut down. So then that's when you see the flu season come into action. That's when you see COVID and the viruses and the stomach flus. People just don't have that strong enough of immune system. And when you're as a collective not having that strong of immune system, of course these viruses are going to spread faster. These, illnesses are going to go around and you just got to be more careful. So what can we do during the winter months, to get better? And the thing is we already touched on the sun. We know that it lowers the mood, the vitamin D, the cravings. You have more cravings, you have more fatigue, you have more inflammation, right? We all know that. And vitamin D is just the perfect anti-inflammatory for us. So how do we get that? You can get that in like a complete like a complete vitamin, and you'd always want to look for one that's like D3, K2. Those are really good. You can I like to start vitamin D in September. Honestly, I start early because especially with Lyme disease, it's just better to start early. We don't get the nutrients that we're supposed to. Now you're supposed to eat seasonally, if you can do that, which means more root vegetables and less of like random stuff. Like, you're buying like pineapples in the middle of, I don't know, December. I mean, where are you getting them from? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's just like you should be getting stuff that's kind of local. That's how we used to eat. And I think that's why a lot of people have more problems now, is because we're eating things that are just not in season, and then they're getting shipped here, and then it's just a whole thing. We don't know where it's coming from because anyone can say anything these days. So we're seeing all this stuff. Then we go through the holidays and we're going to these places, and they're making the food. We don't know, if you're not hosting, you're hosting. You're buying those box stuffings, you're buying those canned freaking vegetables, the processed desserts, seed oils, everything, man. There's everything in these things, and not everyone's going to be health conscious like you are. So now you got to, watch yourself. And then the next day you wake up from Thanksgiving, you're like, damn, I'm puffy, I'm tired, I'm foggy. I am like, I don't know about you, but when I have sugar, my dreams get vivid and I get real like foggy. I can't even like think like about what I did the day before. Like my brain just doesn't work the same. And then I get like acid reflux and all these things. Like actually, one thing that happened to me when I was at Thanksgiving is I was wearing this ring, this one, and if you can't see it, it's just like a metal regular ring or whatever. But the thing is, it's just funny because I was like, oh my god, my ring is like stuck on my finger. And during Thanksgiving, I was cooking, but I was also trying as I was cooking and taste testing, professional. And I just couldn't believe because of all the sugar and salt that I was eating combined, it was just my finger was just swollen. So your body starts to swell in different areas and things like that. And that's the tough part, right? So how do I support myself? There are things you can do now, and this is what I'm going to tell you. And this is why it's going to be gold to listen to my episodes because I got some good inside information, right? So these are things that I actually do now. I do bone broth daily. Yeah, I try to incorporate, even if it's just like half a cup in the morning, I will literally do bone, like whether it's chicken, beef, whatever. And it's super easy to do. You literally like one of my cool tips that I give even my clients is that I get a whole chicken, or even if say you don't want to make the whole rotisserie chicken, you can just go buy a whole rotisserie chicken, eat whatever is on it, and then leave the rest of it, like the rib and the back and the chicken. Even the chicken wings, by the way, are they're the best of what you can get for a bone broth because they're filled with like so much cartilage and things like that. So all the nutrients are in there, like chicken wings. So it's really good to like keep chicken wings. So what you do is you put them into a pot and then you fill it with spring water, whatever kind of water you have, and then we'll make sure it's, just for those folks out there, make sure it's clean water. And you put Celtic salt in there, maybe like 2 tablespoons or something like that, something with minerals. Put some garlic powder, garlic, whatever you want. You can put vegetables in there. You can put garlic, onion, carrots. You could do that. It's fine. It's almost like making a chicken soup. But you're really just gonna simmer the bones for like 36 hours. So you'll like kind of leave it overnight. So if you have like a crock pot, something like that, that will definitely be in your favor. And it works like a freaking charm. I mean, I love it. And then if you do it good, you get a good chicken, you'll be able to see like it's like almost like a jelly, a jelly texture. So when it's cold, you'll notice it'll be like pretty jelly, like shaken. So I said if your bone broth ain't jiggling, then it ain't worth it, man. You jelly, I mean your jelly. Your bone broth should jiggle. Okay, that's how you know it's good. It's got the good stuff in there, and you can also do that with chicken wings, guys. You eat the chicken wings and it's for your family. Fucking save it. Oh, excuse my language. Save the damn chicken wings. Put them in your pot with it. You're just gonna enhance the flavor and also get more good nutrients. So don't waste it. You can always like if you eat chicken wings, freeze them. You know what I mean, and then throw them in a pot and then heat them up. Like if it's just you, it's fine. You know what I mean? You and your family, it's totally cool. So bone broth is something that I definitely do and I love. And then I have high protein meals. So as many people know, I am a dirty carnivore person. I literally went carnivore in last January. And ever since then, my symptoms have dramatically decreased. My neurological symptoms are freaking, I mean, I can go into stores by myself. I used to have super light sensitivity. I used to have neuropathy in my hands and my feet. Um, I also had a lot of brain fog and even hormonally. I mean, wow, this diet or way of eating, however you want to say, it dramatically changed my the way my body operates. Now, I'm not someone that's going to sit here and tell you go do this because I'm not that person. I'm not a that chef, that holistic nutritionist. I always say whatever works for you, and I tell my clients that, I tell everybody I ever spoke to in my life about this. You can do whatever you want, whatever works for your body. I'm not the one who's going to tell you what to do. I just want you to listen and learn, um listen to learn to your body. And that is another point of this podcast, is because it is so important to advocate for yourself. And when you actually tune into your body and listen to what it needs, you really start to connect with it in a different way, and you're like, okay, no, this is what's going to help me, this is what's going to hurt me. And go with your gut instinct. Your gut instinct is usually always right. Okay. You can always get an opinion from a doctor, a nutritionist, but your doctor, your nutritionist, your chef like me, I'm not you. You are you. So you know what works for you and what doesn't. And when people tell you something and force it down your throat, I don't think that's fair. So that's a whole other little tangent, but I just want to let you know, as someone with Lyme disease, neurological Lyme disease, I know dirty carnivore diet or carnivore diet gets some rap, but it is very good for you, regardless of what anyone says, because I've seen really good results. I've seen thousands online. Like I'm part of a community group. They have seen a lot of good results with diabetes, all this stuff. So, I mean, you could say, saying something doesn't work doesn't make sense to me unless it's like, I've tried it and it definitely didn't work, so always be open-minded, even like people who are vegan and vegetarian, which I physically can't do because it's just not enough protein for me. So let's get back to it. High protein meals, very important is what I'm saying. And you should eat red meat. There's nothing wrong with red meat. I don't know why we were ever taught that there was. I literally felt lied to my whole life. I pretty much for 2 years I didn't no, I'm sorry. For 3 or 4 years, I did not eat red meat. Like, I stopped eating it because with Lyme disease, they're like, "You should stop eating it, it's an inflammatory," and it is true, if you have alpha-gal, you're allergic to red meat, you can't eat it, which is totally becoming an epidemic now, which is insane to me because they used to only be found, I think, in, like, the Midwest, or I don't know if it was Texas, I think it was the Lone Star tick, something like that. One of them gave the alpha-gal syndrome, and it's just insane to me now how fast it's spreading because it's just if you don't think ticks weren't man-made, I don't know what to tell you because they definitely are, and just so you know, a lot of the symptoms that Lyme disease has was a lot of what I felt with COVID. So it's very, very close together. So I'm just going to put that in there. Soup conspiracy theory or not conspiracy because it only is conspiracy until it's true. And we've been finding out that chemtrails are true. Oh wait, am I going too far off? We're going too far off base, Alyssa. Come back. So we're we're here with the high protein. Make sure you get some protein in the morning, man. There's nothing wrong with it. Make sure you get like, I don't know, 2 eggs. Eggs are great. People are like, "Oh, it's high cholesterol." No, 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 no. Cholesterol is good for you, dude. It's good as long as you're not like if you're someone who's eating a mixture of things, like you're eating you're eating a lot of carbs, you're eating a lot of meat, you're eating a lot of salt. Then that's when the combination kind of gets messed up, right? Because you have glucose, you got all these things that your body has to regulate. When you're just eating like something like meats or like a keto diet, like a high fat diet, those are great, man. They're finding really good results with cancer, with keto diet. Like it's starving the cancer cells because the cancer cells are thriving off of what? Sugars. Sugars. Wow, this fly away. My mom's gonna kill me. She's a hairstylist. She just did my hair. It's gonna fly away. We're just gonna let it fly. It's just my hair. Anyway, but go high protein. I like to start my day off with 2 eggs and like a half a pound of ground beef. I know it's a lot, but it's really not for me because that's what I eat. I'm like 150 and I pretty much maintained my weight since doing the carnivore diet. So I'm not mad about it. The good thing about dirty carnivore or carnivore diet is that you literally eat until you're full and you don't have to worry about counting macros all the time, unless you're someone that wants to, because there are plenty of people that do, and I don't not support it. But yeah, high protein, awesome, awesome thing, especially for women. Women, we were told not to eat so much protein. And I can't just help to think that maybe Big Pharma played a role in that because there are so many women my age, I'm 32 years old, that cannot get pregnant, that have all these problems. They have PCOS. I had PCOS. Don't have it anymore, by the way. Had it, don't have it. Then I had freaking, what else do they have? They have like IC, which is like pretty much like a UTI, but they can't kill whatever the bacteria is. It's pretty crazy. So there's things that us as women are going through every day that no one's talking about. And then you go to the freaking gynecologist and they're like, "Oh, you have PCOS? Well, let's just put you on birth control. That'll help." That's not going to help. It's not going to help. It's going to make things worse because birth control, when you're on it for a freaking long time, it will start to deplete your nutrients. And then it's very hard to get that back. And it also messes with your hormones along the way. And how do I know? Because I was put on birth control when I was 14 years old. I didn't get off of it until I was like in my early 20s, and that was so struggling, so hard for me. And then to try to bounce back, freaking crazy, man. Freaking crazy. So when we're talking high protein, it is essential for women to have a good amount of protein in their body. And that's all I have to say about that. Then we have to limit our sugar. That's so important, man. We got to limit our sugar. It's complicated, right? Sugar is a legal drug. I say that all the time. I don't care. They're all going to come after me for this podcast one day. So you heard it here first. If you find me, I'll just be somewhere locked up far away. Maybe Fauci will find me because that's wherever he went. But anyway, so yeah, sugar. How can we like limit it? I mean, it's not bad to have honey, every once in a while. Not bad to have maple syrup every once in a while, but it is Even sourdough, right? I have to say, even sourdough, you gotta remember, these things turn into sugar. And a lot of people are like, well, I do really good with sourdough bread, but I can't drop the weight. Well, sourdough is breaking down into sugar and you're causing your metabolism to slow down, and that's what's happening, no matter how fermented it is. So, there's just certain things. So you gotta just stay away from those corn syrups and things like that, which I think we're all pretty much aware of at this point. If we're not, there's additives, there's processed sugars, there's actually a new sugar. I'll tap into it and find where it was. But I remember when I was away in Florida, I was looking at the bacon, and then I was going through and I was like, wait, I've never heard of this ingredient. And it was like not dextrose or whatever, but it was something else. When I remembered, I'll let you know. But pretty much it had it so anyway, I Googled it and it was sugar. And I was like, "Oh, so now they're just like hiding that it's sugar." Like they keep changing the name of what it is and then also like whatever they're using, and it's a sugar. It's just sugar, and it's just crazy me because it's in everything. Like it doesn't need to be in bacon. It really doesn't. You know what I mean? It's a meat. Even cured meats. So limiting sugar is hard. My suggestion is, if you can stay away from it, stay away from it. If you have to have it, you feel like, it's hard to control. I would suggest maybe doing it as like a small, small amount. Maybe if you got to do once a day, then once every other day, then kind of wean yourself off like you would a drug. Honestly, that's the best way to go about it because it is a drug and you will get withdrawals once you stop eating sugar completely. You'll get headaches, your body will get fatigue, and it's because it's your body's like, "Oh damn, you're giving me a chance. Now I could fight off everything." So, interestingly enough, limit your sugar. I think we all know that. Going gluten-free is great, but I have a qualm with gluten-free. I my whole business is gluten-free. Like I have a, personal chef, and my um God, I can't even think. I'm having my own brain fog from all the sugar I ate from Thanksgiving, and that was like 10 years ago. I'm just kidding. But my meal delivery service, and we do we do anti-inflammatory everything, gluten free. But here's the thing: we don't use processed gluten free anything. We actually have gluten free wraps, and we make them from scratch with quinoa. So it's really interesting when you hear people go, "Oh yeah, it's gluten free. It's great. I can have this." Gluten free is just it's just been there's gluten free, but it's processed now. There's nothing really good in the gluten free. Like there's a gluten free fast food place. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Like when I think gluten free, I think you guys just stay away from damn gluten. You know what I mean? Don't eat gluten free pasta. Gluten free. Eat the zoodles. Eat the zucchini zoodles. Shred them up. Make zoodles. You know what I mean? They actually have artichokes now. Or I think is it artichokes or heart of palm? One or two. I think it's both, or if one or the other. I'm not really sure, but they actually have made that into a noodle. So I think they're called palmini. So it's hearts of palm because it's called palmini, and you can find it at pretty much any grocery store. But I mean, it has no sugar, has nothing in it, has no gluten, has nothing. So it's just like, don't eat it. It's just so bad for you, especially if you have an autoimmune disease. I don't know how else to tell somebody because it's like I could say it. I'm sure I could say it through this podcast, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, Lissa, I'm still gonna go out. I'm still gonna go get something with gluten in it." Like my friend, my best friend, Alex, I love you, but you go out. I'm calling you out, girl, because I know you're gonna listen to this at some point. And she goes out. She go get her burger and eat the gluten, but she don't feel good always. I have a couple people that do that, and it's just like, man, if you know it's gonna hurt, don't do it. I don't know how else to say it, but why are you punishing yourself? Do you think you deserve that? And that's a whole nother episode I'm gonna get into because that is a mental health kind of situation where we gotta figure out how do we get people, because I always say, like, if you're gonna join something like a nutrition meal plan, something like that, uh, you got to be mentally prepared first. I don't think I'm going to actually ever sign someone on that I don't feel is mentally prepared. Because if you're someone that like has to have sugar and you can't get away from it, but then you still want to order something from me and you want all these anti inflammatory meals, it's like, it's still not going to work in the way it's supposed to. So when you text me or somebody, like, I don't see results or I'm not losing weight fast, it's because you're eating freaking sugar. You're eating things on the side. You need to detox completely from sugar. You need to lose the weight. And then when you want to go back on, you want to have a piece of sugar here and there, it's all on you. But I'm just saying, it's very difficult. And I see a lot of nutritionists, they're like, well, I can help you lose 20 pounds in the first 2 weeks. Uh-huh. I can make someone lose 20 pounds in the first 2 weeks too. It's called cut the damn sugar out. I mean, come on now. So before you even go to a nutritionist, cut the sugar out, lose the 20 pounds, then go to a nutritionist, because after the 20 pounds, then it gets hard. And that's when you got to really figure out if you want to do macro counting, you do it, or if you want to figure out what your body can digest better, that's a different story. That's my little, that's another tip. You guys are getting some really good tips today. I'm doing so well. Like, I feel good about this. But anyway, so we have that going on. So we were limited to sugar. So we touched on a few things: bone broth. Then we did the high protein meals. Then we limited our sugar, the gluten free. And now we're talking, what can we do at night? Say we're not getting enough sleep. Magnesium is really good. Now, magnesium. People think like, yeah, I'm just gonna go buy some magnesium from CVS. No, 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 don't do that. Because there's like 10 different types of magnesiums out there. There's magnesium glycinate, there's magnesium malate, there's magnesium L-threonate. There is just every innate, everything out there. So what you really want, like if you're looking for something for mood and maybe tired, you wanted something to help you sleep, L-threonate's pretty good for that. If you're looking for like muscle recovery, people who work out a lot, you're looking for malate, something that will help with the muscle pain. So like, and glycinate is pretty good for, I believe people do use it for sleep. You just got to be careful because it can also act as like a little bit of a laxative for some people. So I'm someone, I can't really do a lot of magnesium at all, whether, no matter what type of magnesium it is, my body kind of just doesn't it's not receptive as it should be. But if I do it, like magnesium malate is what I'll tend to, and I don't mind it. So I usually take a mineral. It's called Mineral Renew, and it is a mineral vitamin from NutriWest, and I really do enjoy it. I think it has helped me a lot. I take it in the morning, and I take one at night. And at night it helps me sleep. In the morning gives me the energy to go throughout my day. And it helped me because I have Lyme disease, and with Lyme I used to get POTS. And POTS is pretty much when you're laying down and you wake up, like you're not sleeping, but you lay down, you get up too fast, and all of a sudden you see stars, or you may get a little dizzy. I don't have it anymore because I really upped my mineral level. And with this dirty carnivore diet, I was able to include more salt. So I'm really thriving off of the salt intake and also the mineral intake. So we touched on all these cool things, right? Your body loves consistency. If it's not getting consistency, then it's just not going to work in the way you want it to. Let's be real. And I think s- it's really a good time of year for people because they start to realize and become self-aware that, okay, I really need to change my body. And for some reason, I know, maybe society or whatever it is, but we've come to this ultimate reset for January. Everyone's like, January's the year, it's a new year, we reset. I guess it gives people hope and gives people like something to, like, I don't know. I guess just look forward to, because you're like, okay, all these things have happened to me, but I won't let it this year. And, we all go through the same stuff. It's year after year. But I just want to say, this time of year it could be hard. People feel tired, they are depressed, they're inflamed, we're bloated, we're everything. Awareness is everything. And once you're aware of that, like once you're aware of what's going on in your body and you get control of the environment around you and in your body, it starts to function a lot better. So I don't know how this felt for you. I gave you some cool tips. I gave you some really fun, like funny, I think funny stories, a little bit of them. I don't know. We'll see. There'll be more to come. And I just want to say, if this does hit home to you, I want you to share this with someone who's like currently in the same situation. They're tired of the sun not being up in time. It's been gone for like 3 weeks and we're already like, "Oh no, we're just getting into December. We still got January, February, and then a little bit of March." And then we wait for a groundhog to tell us, "Hey, we're gonna get more sun or not." So we are really thriving as humans. And I think, I think it's great that if we kind of just all band together and kind of like share our knowledge, I think it's going to get us a lot further in the future. So I'm glad I could share with you guys. And one, thank you for joining me on Real Chef and Talk. We don't judge here, we don't shame. We literally heal, we laugh, and we learn. I mean, how can you get more than that? That is just great. And we may eat some gluten free, sugary snacks here and there, but we're going to go through this together. So if you want, subscribe. I hope you do, because there's going to be more of these like fun conversations. Also, we're going to be talking about other stuff in the future that you might want to hear, like nervous system work. We're going to be talking about recipes that I have that I've used to integrate into my life that literally changed the way I live. So it's got me to this point. I'm here to help everybody else. So we have a ton more episodes coming up, and I cannot wait to share more information with you guys. So hit the button, subscribe, and have a great day. It's always nice to talk to you guys.